Apostle Peter was a perfect example of why Jesus Christ wasn't the Son of God. Don't don't make the mistake of misunderstanding that and think it's still alright to use that name. Because it's not. Jesus used a lot of trickery and deceit. It's true that he might have done some things, but we can also do some things. It's just tricks that he used. I mean, Chris Angel walked on water. You have to look at the magicians sometimes and think, maybe things that we thought should only be possible by Jesus Christ are possible if we just know how they did it. And a storm can quiet down at any point in time. It really can. I know it's weird, but it can stop at any time. We cannot prove 100% that Jesus Christ was the Son of God. And the reason I say that is because of King Herod. King Herod had a very dark personality. His personality was the sort of thing where he would go off and kill his own family. They have it reported. They have it in file. They have it in history. It was true. Why would King Herod go after Jesus Christ if he wasn't somebody that was a threat to the throne? He had no reason to. That was his son. That's the only reason he had to go after him. And go after him and try and kill him. There wasn't no other reason. He was a king. Any allegations brought against him led to death. Because they slit people's throats just for saying anything evil about a king or queen or anybody for that type of matter in any country. That goes for any country at all. England, France, Germany, Spain. They all had their kings. If you looked at the emperor and empress from China, same thing there too. 100%. You don't say anything evil about those type of people in power. That's why if you said something evil about the president, I think you'd be pretty much in trouble. It's all just examples. See, we don't live in a country where there's kings and queens. So we don't understand that mindset. We have a president. If we lived in England, we would understand what it means to be a king and queen. We would understand that a king You don't ever say anything bad against them. It's a bad thing to do. And 2,000 years ago, it was even worse. They'd kill you. Straight up just kill you. So, if the Virgin Mary was raped, and they didn't have the word rape until the 1500s, so that right there just makes it a point where Jesus Christ was the King of the Jews lineage. That's what the three wise men knew. And you see, those three wise men should have been listened to a lot more than anything else. But yet, we see throughout the rest of the Bible, they aren't even listened to. They're forgotten about. In the book of Proverbs, it says, wisdom is your sister. It talks a bunch about wisdom. It should be top priority thing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that one. My bad. Oops. That was an accident. I didn't mean to mention that one. So there is still more to think about and prove that Jesus Christ wasn't the Son of God, but actually was Son of King Herod. You know, talks about infidelity in lineage in the book of Malachi. That was a prophet. It said cut off at the sense of Jacob. But if you look at Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, there's no infidelity there. But that's where they cut off the lineage at. God said, nope, that's no good. But he still cut that lineage off because he knew the future. He knew Jesus Christ would take worship from him. Our God is a jealous God. That's what it talks about in the Ten Commandments. It's right inside of there. So it's still a commandment. Because if it really doesn't list 10, it is just a few. That one's way more important than love your neighbor as yourself. It's way more important. If you worship God, the eternal one that's in heaven, to understand that God wants us to be on our hands and knees. And we can see that example when we worship Him by looking at the book of Daniel. Worship is mentioned in there because King Nebuchadnezzar said, "Bow down and worship me." If you worship somebody, then you understand that the king wanted them to bow down and worship. Yeah, yep. That's what they wanted. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego didn't do that. But if the Lord God had them standing there and said, "Bow down and worship me," they would have been on their hands and knees. They would have understood that worship is on your hands and knees. You can't worship a god or a king while standing on your feet. It doesn't work. It's not how they want to be worshipped. They don't feel that it's respectful enough. You're not equal to them. You're not the same as them. You're below them. And that's how it should be. I think that we need to understand that the Bible is a very sharp sword. And it does cut. I'm sorry that if anybody used to be in love with Jesus Christ, because I was there too. I was definitely there. I'm part of that crowd. But then one day I was like, wait a minute. I got a little bit of a problem with this. I mean, I didn't put everything together right away. But things just started hitting my mind, and I was like, wait a minute. No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense either. That part doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. And the only thing that I thought about was, man, Jesus is a deceiver. He deceives so many people all across the world every single day. And it frustrates me that more people don't see all the connections. I took a lot of time out of my life to figure this all out. It's really amazing that we can be forgiven for worshiping someone that we shouldn't have from God. Because we can be. We can make the change, and we can understand that we have faults. And He'll understand. He will forgive us. And that's good. Because He loves us. And He knows us. And He wants us to have success. He wants us to change. And go back to the way it was before. Because when Moses was talking to God on Mount Sinai, God never mentioned, "Oh, Moses, let it be known that I will be sending my son down as your AD." None of that didn't happen. We don't see that in those texts. We don't see it. That is a perfect spot for Lord God to let that be known. Right? I mean, think. I think that'd be like something that Moses would have gotten notified of while writing out the Ten Commandments. But that didn't happen. So, prophets that came, I don't really trust them. There's something in the book of Isaiah where literally it's called the morning star. And that is pretty interesting because there's only one star that ever twinkled in the sky, brighter than the rest, and gave point to a reference of possibly being the morning star. That was your ID. What's to say that Jesus Christ wasn't actually born until after 12:01 a.m.? That would make that the morning star, that twinkle in the sky. That would be the point of reference for being morning and being a star. It'd give way to for being Jesus Christ. Deceive people. Lucifer likes to deceive people. He likes to draw them away from God. It's pretty interesting how when he Lucifer kicked out of heaven as zero in the book of Genesis chapter 1, 2, and 3, and he not appear until 0 AD. We don't really know why. I mean, it should have been right away that he appeared on Earth, you'd think. But maybe not. Because Isaiah says he's the morning star. So maybe he took a transition from Genesis to 0 AD. I don't know. Not sure because we didn't have clocks back then. But it is a possibility. And we can't ignore that possibility. But all the other things that I said about Jesus Christ, give more weight to it being true. It's not just a possibility anymore. I had so many other things where it might actually be true. We don't know. But it could be. And I don't want to worship somebody I don't know the full truth. But I worship Lord God. I get on my hands and knees for Him. I know He's real. because of Book of Acts, chapter 1 and 2. The Holy Spirit was there. It was there to go against what Jesus was saying. And it does. It goes right against. It goes right against the whole thing that Jesus was teaching on, and it shows us that the Holy Spirit is not what Jesus identified with us. Isn't that something? Alright, anyways, I'm done with this. It's been 20 minutes. I'll talk to you later. Bye.